Okay, hi guys. Today I'm just gonna do a brief walkthrough of how I made this shrink plastic charm. So the plastic I'm using is this one from Daiso. It's the transparent frosted version. So one side of the plastic is frosted, which lets you draw on it. And when it shrinks, that side maintains a frosted texture, but if you decide to seal the design with glaze, then the entire charm becomes translucent. You can use whatever shrink plastic you want, obviously. Some come with a white background, which helps the colors pop more. So it all just depends on your preference. You can actually recycle certain kinds of plastic from packaging. You can find some information online telling you which plastics you can do this with. But unless you plan on using Sharpies for the whole design, then before you do anything, you should roughen up one side with sandpaper so that you're able to draw on it. So first you want to just sketch out a design on paper, or you can just trace an existing image. Keep in mind that plastic shrinks pretty significantly to like about 1/5 of the original size. So right now I'm just like kind of drawing whatever. I don't really know what I'm doing. Got some chickens and stuff. Yeah, anyway, so after you finish your sketch, get the plastic and place it rough side up. Then I like to tape it in place to stop it from sliding around as I trace over the design. So I'm using this Zig Millennium 0.3mm fine liner because from experience I know that it dries pretty quickly on this material and won't smudge when I color over with Copics. You can use whatever you like. You can use like Sharpies, pencils, chalk markers and stuff. I suggest testing out the materials in a scrap bit of plastic before you work on the actual thing. Then at this point you can color in the outline, otherwise you can color after baking, which is what I did. Again, you can use all kinds of materials, be it acrylic paint, markers, pencils, soft pastels. The thing is, after baking, the colors tend to become a lot more saturated. So again, I suggest testing it out first, because unless you test it out, you might end up with a disappointing surprise. If I plan on using Copics, I generally prefer to color after baking, because if you do it beforehand, I find the colors turn out pretty blotchy and like really dark. Anyway, afterwards I'm just gonna roughly cut around the design, and then if you want to make the charm into like a keychain or like a necklace or something, a hole punch creates a decently sized hole that you can put a jump ring through. And then I cut around the design more carefully. Take your time, because especially in sharp corners, because the plastic can rip. So to cut the corners, it's better to rotate the paper than the scissors. So after that, it's time to bake. So first you gotta crinkle up some foil and then place the charm in the oven and set the temperature to whatever your instructions specify. So mine was 120 degrees Celsius, could be different for you. And then just watch the thing in the oven and wait. So after a minute, the plastic will begin to curl up. And then if you wait longer, it'll flatten out as it shrinks. So just wait until the plastic looks flat and seems to have stopped shrinking, and then you can take it out. If you take it out too early, it'll have shrunk unevenly and would probably be kind of distorted and wavy. But if you leave it on too long, then it might burn. But like, you know, the safety window isn't really that narrow, so it doesn't really matter. Just keep an eye on it. Also have a thick book nearby, because after you take the plastic out of the oven, you want to quickly put it between the pages and press down to ensure that the design turns out flat. I didn't film that because I was trying to use chopsticks to take it out, and I failed miserably to pick it up for like 10 seconds, but anyway, this is just footage of me sitting on the book, so I usually sit on it for like a minute while it cools. Yeah, so afterwards I'm just colouring it with Copics. So the ink acts differently on the plastic compared to paper in that it turns out really light. So yeah, you just gotta play around and see what works. Also the colour on the rough side of the plastic differs from what shows up on the front. So not sure if you can tell from the camera, but from the front it looks a little darker and blotchier, but that's okay, just like make it work somehow. And then after that I wait a bit to make sure the ink's dry, then I seal it. So here I have nail polish top coat and this Tamiya glossy enamel paint. You can also use epoxy or resin, and these things produce a domed effect. But I don't have any, so yeah, whatever. Anyway, I decided to use the top coat because I actually find it works a little better than the gloss, because it's quicker to dry and it's less runny. I actually used the gloss on another piece that I spent ages on, and yeah, lol, regrets, because not only did it take like a day to fully cure, but also ended up uneven because I'm guessing the gloss like ran and pulled in certain spots. So I'm thinking of giving it another coat, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just wait for it to dry and then you're done pretty much. Yeah, so I hope you try this out. It's pretty quick and easy DIY. So yeah, see ya.